where the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has arrived in India for a two-day visit. The meeting, of course, comes in the backdrop of the Ukraine-Russia war, and the key focus will be to finalize the two-way investment deals in defense, in artificial intelligence, and also in green energy resources. The trip that had been postponed twice due to COVID flare-ups in recent past will focus on deepening ties between the two nations. The Prime Minister Johnson, in a tweet, has confirmed that the visit will focus on issues such as job creation, economic growth, with focus on energy security and defense, and it will also further enhance people-to-people ties. He also made a statement on his Indian visit in the Parliament yesterday.
Be travelling to India to deepen the strategic trade, defence and people-to-people ties between our two countries, building on India's involvement in the Carbis Bay G7 summit. I'll be seeing Prime Minister Modi in Delhi, meeting Indian business people investing in the UK and visiting British investments in India.
All right, so that was the statement that was put out by the British Prime Minister in the Parliament before he embarked on this trip to India. And to give us more insights in terms of why this visit by the British Prime Minister is so significant, we're joined in by WION's Siddhant Sibbal, who's joining us live on this broadcast. Good morning to you, Siddhant. This, of course, is a very crucial and a very significant visit by the British Prime Minister to India. It's also happening at a time when Russia has invaded into Ukraine, and there's a lot of pressure on the West to present a united stand against this Russian invasion.
Well, yes, that remains the key focus. In fact, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is the first European leader to visit Delhi since the Russian invasion of Ukraine started on 24th of February. And undoubtedly, that will be one of the key focus areas when the British Prime Minister reaches here in Delhi tomorrow for talks with the Indian Prime Minister. Because today, of course, the focus is Gujarat, the western state of Gujarat with investment, and of course he visiting Sabarmati Ashram, Akshardham Temple. But in Delhi, it will be hard diplomacy. We know that before his visit, the British side has been saying that he's not here to Delhi, to India, to lecture India on Ukraine, but to share perspective of London and to listen to the perspective of New Delhi. We know that India has been quite neutral in terms of its stance amidst the invasion. But also, we know that the West, especially European countries, are keen that India strongly condemns what's happening in Ukraine. But Russia is a close partner, it has close relationship with India. So India is balancing that relationship. But nonetheless, this visit provides ample of opportunity for the British Prime Minister to strengthen this relationship, which has, of course, a historical angle to it as well.
Absolutely, indeed. And it's also being said that this visit by the British Prime Minister that has been twice delayed, in fact, seeks to, establish a sort of a roadmap for India-Britain equation for the next 25 years in terms of trade, in terms of diplomacy, in terms of defence relationships.
Well, yes, there will be a lot of focus areas in those terms as well. In terms of trade, we know that both sides are engaged for the free trade agreement. The third round of free trade agreement begins later this month. And we know that since the Brexit has happened, UK is keen to have good trading relationship with India and with the rest of the world as well. So FTA is something that remains a priority. In fact, just before the visit started, sources told WION that this visit will provide that staging ground for both India and the UK to make sure that this FTA comes early in terms of the talks which are happening. India has concluded FTA talks and signed FTA interim pact with Australia, with UAE, and of course UK could be next. But in terms of UK's Indo-Pacific tilt as well, increased engagement in the Indo-Pacific region as well, the
Right.
British Prime Minister will reaffirm that while the situation in Europe is not very good, the focus remains on Indo-Pacific as well, especially the aggressive actions by the Chinese.
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Siddhant Sibbal, for joining us and getting us all those insights there. We'll, of course, come back to you as more details emerge in this story. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.